Welcome. This is Weird Astrology with Jewel, and I will tell you about my weirdness. I like to use Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, chakras, astrology. What else? Anyway, you think of it, and I probably have experimented with it using the Tree of Life of Kabbalah as my template. So let's have a look. This is the astrological version, and I'll just give you a quick rundown, and then we'll go from there. On the left side is the yin side. Okay, the Tree of Life is 3 columns. So you have your yin side, you have your center, and your right side, which is your yang side. Then you also have these levels, and those are like the chakras. So if there were chakras, this would be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you can look at this from this linear 2-dimensional front-on view, or if you want to think of it as something that's spinning, you can start spinning it. You can turn it, if you take the top here and you just turn it on its side and look at it there, then you just will have 3 dots. I'll show you that some other time. Anyway, there's a lot to play with here, and you can certainly have fun with the ideas. But the basics that I work with, and what really turns me on and keeps me informed, because this is really what it's about for me, is being informed, is that the yin and the yang are the 2 creative forces of nature. And, science and religionists over the eons have attempted to describe these energies. And right now, science is doing it with dark matter and quarks and plasma and who knows, all that stuff. Those are just ways of describing how we experience the yin and the yang. And those 2 things, the yin and the yang, are completely incomprehensible on their own to us. Because where are we? We're in the middle. Creation and humans and animals and trees and universes, all the physical realities that we experience, that's here in the middle, okay? And so the whole purpose of this exercise is if you can sort out what the meanings are and the experiences could be from these more, these opposites, then you can sort of understand better how to put them together in the middle and what you're dealing with in your own real life and reality. So just quickly, let's start here at the bottom, and I put the moon at the bottom because the moon and the earth to me are the same. They are a symbiotic couple, the mother and child. And so the moon and the earth are the mother and child. And the cycles of earth and the tides and all that stuff, anything that the moon is influencing the earth, and it goes back and forth. The moon can be the baby and the earth can be the mother, but then it can reverse and the moon can be the mother as well. So that belongs down here at the bottom. It's like the base of the Tree of Life, and it's the basis of our moment, of our existence, of our reality. It's where we live. We live on the earth, and the moon goes around, and it pulls our watery bodies around, and we have experienced the cycles of the movement of the moon and the earth together. Okay, so above that, then we have the next one up, and these all have Hebrew names, but I'll discuss that another time. This one is, I put Mars here because this is the sexy one. This is the second chakra, and this is where we have sex. But sex isn't just fucking. Sex is union, and it's where we honor each other so deeply that we understand that we're united as one breathing, living energy. And it's where the 2, the yang and the yin, come together. This is where they meet sexually, where the union happens. And that is in terms of instinct, and it's also in the moment. It's very immediate energy. So anything having to do with Mars, what was that? Oh, that was a kitty. With Mars is going to be something that's quick. So like the Nike thing, just do it. Mars is the energy of do it right now. Don't think about it. Jump to it. Do it. Okay, so that's Mars, and that's the energy of this particular level and circle. All right, next one up is the third chakra, and that is Venus and Mercury. I know it's different to have this couple, especially if you've been trained in astrology, because we've been trained that Venus and Mars are the couple. But I think Mars is the child of Venus and Mercury. And actually, in the Greek myths, that's true. Aries is the child of Venus and Mercury. More on that later too, because right now I just want to do the basics for you. So this is our feminine and our masculine, and the masculine is all the stuff we cannot see, feel, touch, taste, or hear. The masculine are the conceptual parts of us and our life and the world. So Mercury is ideas. Ideas come to us. Have you ever just been hanging around and it's like you get an idea? Where did that come from? Well, you don't even know. It just shows up and then you claim it as your own idea. But really, you're just the messenger and you're going to take it over here to the lady, the young lady Venus, who's all about the physical resources. And she's the one that calls in the mental energy and she's the one that makes it into something. But not until it filters down here does it really become something. But this is a process. All right, the next one up is the sun, and that's the daytime one. And that's, of course, the Leo and romance, marriage. And this is the place of the heart. This is the marriage. So this is where in alchemy we have the sun and the moon are together to make life. So the marriage, the purpose of marriage is to have sex and to create reality. So that's the children. So that's how that works. Okay, the next one up is Saturn and Jupiter. And those two are in the fifth chakra, and that represents the voice. So that's in the throat, and it's speak your truth. And right now we have a big story on Jupiter and Saturn conjoining together in the sign of Aquarius. And I don't have to tell you because there's so many people telling you about that. So you can check that out. But this is a really important one because I think in terms of history and in terms of spiritual evolution for humans, we're starting to get an idea of to find our voice. And this is a rather high up chakra too. This, if you start down here at your feet or standing on your first chakra, even if you consider that the first chakra is your root and the earth is your root, then you keep going up and up and up until you finally get to the throat up here. And excuse me, this is cool because it's like humanity is trying to learn to speak the truth. And the truth is the balance then, because it's two characters, not just one. So you've got your physical and your non-physical, so your belief systems and the actual forms that come out of those beliefs. And so this is important. And I think today's culture is really getting a handle on it. We'll talk about that later too. Then the next one up is these are the outer planets then, Neptune and Uranus, and they represent just the higher octaves of the voice. So this is the zeitgeist, which is really the voice of the age. It's not just the voice of a person or even a culture. It's the voice of the ethers. So it's as if we're nested dolls. And so down here we're a doll, a little tiny doll, and there's a bigger doll. And you know how each one fits into the next one. Well, by the time you get up to here, it's a great big doll, and it holds all the other dolls. And so that's what this represents. And this is the big picture, and this is the like when you want to go to samadhi, and you know the yogis, and you want to transcend. This is where you go to when you're attempting to do that. And there's a Jewish meditation where you swing. They swing back and forth and they just try and touch this. So they swing from here to up here and then back down to reality and back up to here. And if you can touch this upper echelon of energies for even a second, it enlightens you. It brings you into another higher consciousness. And that's what we're talking about when we say higher consciousness. And higher is kind of a problematic word for me because we have these contextual ideas that higher is like better and higher is more desirable and higher is more good. And I don't want us to think that. I want us to maybe think that these upper echelon energies are bigger, like the giant nested doll, the big lady doll, the biggest doll of all, that holds everything. So what it is really wider. It broadens our consciousness. It opens us up to the broader picture. And that's what Neptune and Uranus do. And then at the very top, we put Mars there again, and also Pluto in the new ways with the new planets. Pluto goes here. But you can see that Mars up here is the night Mars. And down here where we have sex and instinct, and we're much closer to the daily life of the moon down here, this is a day planet. But we make it a night planet up here, and it becomes feminine. And so this is some of the hermaphroditic qualities that we have in our planets. And the ancient astrologers understood that this yin and yang interaction is what really creates life. And so when we put Mars up here and call it a lady instead of a dude, call it a dude down here, or a hermaphrodite actually is what it is. It's also a hermaphrodite here, because even though it represents, what it does down here is it represents the sexual desire here. The penis is what the men have always said it is, but women have a smaller penis. We just call it a clitoris, and it doesn't have an ejaculate. But it's the same kind of sexual power and feeling. It's a very intense feeling of sexual experience and release, and that's what Mars is about. And women and men both experience that. So that's why I put it in the middle and saying it's not, because in astrology they say it's the man in your chart, but that's astrology from a very male-oriented culture that's been ongoing for quite some time now. All right, so then we put Mars up here in the night, and it becomes the dark mother. Okay, and so, yeah, it could be very sexy, but what she is she's a birther mother, and she's on fire. So fire is masculine, but the birther energy is very feminine. The night is feminine. So this is a hot night here. And it births all of this other stuff, you see. And so Mars has this double quality of being feminine and masculine. Now, all of them do, like Saturn. I'll go over that in another one because I just want to make this one a quick introduction. And so this is how we have our yin, we have our yang, and now we have our creation in the middle. And this is what we have access to in terms of our daily lives. Mars, the sun, and the moon. That's it. That's all we have. These others are peripheral. Those are not belonging to us. But the way that we begin to understand these more extreme forms on the left and the right side is by really integrating ourselves into our own experience. Was that a positive or a negative thing that I just felt, did, or experienced? Was I pushing in or pulling in? Was I pushing out or pulling in? Was I breathing in or breathing out on that? Was it my fault? Was it my job? Was it my responsibility? See, all this kind of introspection is how we really begin to understand these different areas on the tree and where we stand. Now, and I might stand way over here, way down here. Okay, for instance, my Venus is in Aries. So she's not happy in Aries because she wants to be more of a caller rather than a doer. She wants to call you in over to her house, and whereas Aries wants to run over to her house. He'll just run right over there. But she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And I end up having to because Venus is in Aries. So this is how you kind of dissect your energy of yourself. And dissecting your self energy is really helpful in terms of understanding your motivations in life, your desires, your wants and needs in life. And so that's what they do. This is like a astrology triage where you figure out what is it that you want, what is it that you love, and what is it that you really need. And when you can do that, this is a great tool to help you do that. Because when you can do that more often and more effectively, then you become more proactive in your life, and you end up in charge of yourself. You then begin to steer your own ship. And that's my goal and purpose in life, is to do that better for me and to share that with whoever's interested in finding out what I've learned, that it might help you too. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you the next time.